From Windsor, Ontario, it's Remotely Zach with Zachary Thomas. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Zachary Thomas. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am your host, everybody's favorite, Zachary Thomas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Friday, the last day of the work week, or as it is known in Congress, every day. All right, let's dive into tonight's monologue, shall we? The big news this week was billionaire and rocket man that Elton John was not singing about, Jeff Bezos. Bezos flew into space in what appeared to be a giant cock. This was part of the Voyage Blue Origin, where Bezos flew off in what happens after taking the blue pill. Bezos flew with 3 other crew members, including his brother and a woman named Wally Funk, who was training to be an astronaut in the 60s. Wally Funk sounds less of an astronaut's name and more like a punk rock singer. Ladies and gentlemen, Wally Funk! The trip took only 10 minutes from takeoff to landing. Shame, could have been quicker with Amazon Prime. I mean, 5 to 10 minutes max. Or 2 to 5 minutes max, you know. Bezos and crew also had a press conference afterwards, and Bezos said exactly what you would have expected from a billionaire. Take a listen.
This is a small and amazing little town, we're making a dent in it, and we appreciate you for allowing us to be part of your town. And then I want to thank every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer, because you guys paid for all of this. So seriously, for every Amazon customer out there and every Amazon employee, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, I guess Bezos and the rocket have one thing in common. They are both giant dicks. The other big story comes from DC, where Dr. Fauci took off the plastic surgical gloves at this guy, the man who we all know wears a wig made of pubic hair, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. The senator was accusing Fauci of allegedly creating the virus or having something to do with it. Take a look.
The pandemic. What we're alleging is that gain-of-function research was going on in that lab, and NIH funded it.
That is
you can't
not.
Get away from it. It meets your definition, and you are obfuscating the truth.
I'm not obfuscating the truth.
Senator
You are the
Paul's
one.
time is expired, but I will allow the witness to.
Let me just finish. I want everyone to understand that if you look at those viruses, and that's judged by qualified virologists and evolutionary biologists, those viruses are molecularly impossible
No one's
to
saying
result
they are. No
in
one's saying those viruses
SARS-CoV-2.
caused the pandemic.
Senator Paul,
We're saying they are gain-of-function viruses because they were
they're not.
animal viruses that became more transmissible in human, and you funded it.
And
won't
you
admit the truth.
and you
Senator
implying
Paul, your time has expired, and I will allow witnesses who come before this committee to respond.
and you are implying that what we did was responsible for the deaths of individual. I totally resent
could
that.
have
And
been.
if anybody
could
is
have been.
lying here, Senator, it is you.
Senator Smith.
Yeah, that's right, Senator. You do not know what you're talking about. All that was missing were the Z-snaps. Come on, Dr. Fauci. Get with it. You're gonna go at him. Do it good. Yeah, because an eye doctor knows a lot more about the virus than a doctor who is literally known as an infectious disease expert. I mean, come on, like really. Last week, a committee was formed to investigate the Capitol insurrection, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi selected some Democratic members and one Republican, Liz Cheney. They are hoping to get a shot of how January 6th occurred. If they want to get a shot, might as well be from a Cheney. Boom. Hell yeah. Come on now. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy selected his picks, including Jim Jordan of Ohio. But Pelosi was quick to reject him, as well as a rep from Indiana. Pelosi felt that the committee, with them on it, would not be taken seriously. Oh, please. Jordan is not interested in investigating anything, right, wrestlers at Ohio State? Wildfires are burning across Western Canada, and it is impacting the air quality and giving us hazy skies. Please, there's more hazing going on in the air than at a frat house. Now. Also, this is a photo that I took of the moon a couple nights ago, and it is, you can see it is very, very orange. This also begs the question, who wore it best? As you know, I love a Florida man story, but we're going to do something a little different. This time, we are going to talk about Florida woman. According to CBS 4 Miami, a man returning home from an afternoon doctor's appointment was greeted by a naked stranger in his pool. He did call the police department to come get the woman. Now, you can tell he is a retiree because he didn't say, "Would you like a towel?" Nope, "I'm calling the police." What a dick. Of course, we all know he wasn't thinking with it. When Charlotte County Sheriff's deputies arrived, the woman, later identified as 42-year-old Heather Kennedy, was reportedly hostile to them and demanded that they leave her alone. The cops may leave you alone, but there is always Google Earth, and they won't. We've got a great show for you this evening. Maya Mikhael will be here, but when we return, what can we call the new Indiana Jones film? Stay with us. It's coming up. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We got a great show for you this evening. The host of the podcast, Windsor's Truth, Maya Mikhael, will be joining us. That should be a lot of fun. That'll be a good time. Should be really great. Folks, the new Indiana Jones film will be released next year. Now, Harrison Ford will also be returning, and he will be 80 when the film is released next year. The other thing is that the film does not yet have a name, so I thought I should go through some potential names. Y'all want to hear some? Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll get that. Here we go. Yeah, got some great names coming up. Great names. Indiana Jones and the Lost Walker. Should be a fun one. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Denny's. Looking for that lost moons over my hammy. Indiana Jones and the Last Pudding. Well, that also sounds great. I hear tapioca's in that. And Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Florida. Well, I hope at least one of those will be up for consideration. Stick around. We'll be right back with Maya Mikhael. Join us, please. Stick around. It'll be fun. Welcome back, everybody. My guest this evening is the host of Windsor's Truth, which you can find on Spotify, Maya Mikhael. Maya, thank you for joining us. So I'm just gonna ask right out of the gate, what inspired this podcast?
Yeah, so I've always had a background in philanthropy. When I was 6 years old, I saw a man looking in the garbage in Ohio, and it really broke my heart. So ever since, I've been kind of trying to help out in my community. So I have my own group. It's called Maya's Friends, and basically it's a lemonade stand to help the hungry people in the city of Windsor. And when last year I was introduced to my MYP project, which is the Middle Years Program project. It's for the IB program. And we were asked to make a project that interested us. And it could be literally anything. So some people made websites, some people wrote books. Everybody kind of did something. Some people built shelves. Like it's really your own thing. And I really wanted to help out in my community. And at first I kind of wanted to do like a documentary type of thing where I would go around and kind of film the not so positive attributes of Windsor. But due to COVID, that wasn't very possible. So I decided a podcast would be the best way to kind of reach out to people.
What got you into politics in the first place?
Yeah, so politics was something that I kind of grew up around, right? So my dad came to Canada, and he was a strong conservative, but he didn't feel like they were doing enough. So we switched to NDPs, and we met a local local MP. His name was Joe Martin. And he was absolutely amazing. Like, he literally came to my baptism. He was one of the best people we've ever met. So um, that's what kind of really got us involved. And my dad kind of started helping out. My mom started helping out. So I kind of just grew up around it. And then I met Lisa, and because she was being elected, and she was running for election, and that's kind of what got me interested. And ever since, like, I've been trying to learn all the routes, kind of learn everything, and it was really cool. So yeah, and we kind of just went from there, and yeah.
Do you have any political aspirations?
Yes. I would like to be the first female prime minister to be elected in Canada. So vote for Maya Mikhael 2030 something.
I can guarantee you will most likely have my vote because I'm also an NDP voter.
That's good. I'm glad.
And I could just hear the comments that people screaming in the comment section. So so do you follow like the American politics at all, or is it just Canadian?
You know what? I follow to an extent. Like, I try to cut myself off a little bit because I tend to be very controversial. So I tend to cut myself off a little bit. I try to not get too involved because if I see something that might make me a little bit angrier, I kind of doesn't go well. So like, yeah.
No, I'm also gonna mention that I actually follow American politics because this show thrives off some of the nonsense that's going on right now.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? I always say I personally believe that the last American politics, obviously, I think that we had, pardon my language, but an idiot running against an even dumber idiot, right? Like it was not the best position to be in, and in my opinion, at the end of the day, it's whoever works for the people, right? Like, whoever works for those who are homeless, whoever works for those who are suffering with mental health, whoever tries to make a positive impact on the world.
And also, I will actually mention, what do you think of NDP being kind of tucked under the rug, like not really getting many seats at the table?
Yeah, so with that, well, obviously we know that the liberals and the conservatives have been switching off positions ever since God knows when, right? They've always been switching. It's always conservatives get elected, then the liberals get elected, then the conservatives get elected, and then the liberals get elected. So obviously it's cool to notice that there's a pattern. So what I see is so the conservatives will finish their 4-year term. They won't like what they did, so then they'll go vote liberal next election. Then the liberals will finish their 4-year term. People won't like what they did, so then they go vote conservative. And it's just a back and forth. And what people are not realizing is that we're not getting anywhere. It's just the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it's the same bull crap over and over and over again. So, like, if you want to see a change, try making a change in your vote and see what happens. You know what? Like, the NDP have never really gotten, like, they've never been in power, so you don't know what they're capable of doing. So I don't understand why people are judging them already. And I'll tell you right now, they're the only people who are gonna fight for the people, like for the people, like for us, you know? Like, and it's really upsetting to me because a lot of people tend to like tuck away that there's poor people, that there's people who are not doing well, and we've seen that a lot during COVID. So many people have experienced so much mental health. So many people have been struggling, and people are not realizing that maybe there's a reason. Maybe it's because our government is not doing enough, right? But I don't know, personal opinion, I guess.
And that's basically what I've seen throughout like the whole time is basically that. So what have you seen in politics that makes you cringe?
What have I seen in politics that makes me cringe? Well, to be honest, I think that Doug Ford in general makes me cringe. Cutting education was probably the worst thing he could have done in his life. Okay, you know what? How is our country gonna thrive if our youth is not educated? Okay, like, and I understand. You know what? There's some very successful people who didn't go to school, and I understand, but that's a choice that you should be allowed to make personally. If you we should have the opportunity to do good in school, to prioritize that if we want to, And unfortunately, Doug Ford wants to take those resources out. Mental health is another thing. Like, you look at all the youth my age. I'm turning 16 in 4 days. And you look at everybody that is my age, and oh my God, like, it's everybody's mental health is at a 0 point. Like, everybody is sad, everybody's anxious, everybody's depressed, and these are the highest suicidal rates we've ever seen. And where's Doug Ford? Like, if you're basing your campaign off of a $1 beer, don't you think that's a problem? Because I do.
I think implementing the $1 beer is a problem in general.
Yeah, like, are you encouraging drunk driving? Like, what? It's crazy, you know?
You may be encouraging alcohol abuse.
Exactly. It's terrible. It's actually terrible.
So I think we settled it. Doug Ford makes people cringe from the way he looks to his policies.
And you know what? Like, I understand maybe some viewers or listeners, you know what? Maybe you don't agree with me, and I understand that. That's fine. Have your own opinion. But I encourage you to take a step back and look at what he's done for us right now, because it doesn't look too good, and he didn't do anything. So I don't know.
And that also may be true for legal reasons. So with every one of my guests, I like to play a game called 3 Questions With. I will ask you 3 random questions. You can pass on one. It's fairly obvious. So are you up? Are you ready? Are you game?
I'm excited. I'm ready.
Okay, as the young people would say. So what is your favorite food? What does
My favorite food, chicken wings. I love chicken wings, honey garlic chicken wings, with a side of ribs, if there is.
a side of ribs?
Yeah,
The
a
ribs,
rib. Let me tell you, a
maybe
rib
the whole.
combo from Krabby Joe's. That's what I like, and I also love the chicken wings from Check's Roadhouse. Those are my favorites, and I'm not sponsored. Just saying.
We do not sponsor any of those establishments. But if you want to send us free food, that would be great.
Hey, if you want to sponsor us, go ahead, go for it.
Alrighty. Well, what is your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject in school. Well, I just took a civics class, so I did really enjoy that, and I loved my teacher. I personally, what I'm best at is math. I love math because it's black and white. So the teacher can't tell me, and I like to fight for my grades a lot. So the teacher can't tell me that he doesn't think my ethical enough. So yeah.
Oh God. I'm just gonna throw myself in here a little bit, but when I was in school, my least favorite subject was math. I don't like the math. So who is one person in your life you can't stand?
One person in my life I can't stand. I mean, usually if I can't stand someone, I kind of get them out of my life. But one person, well, right now, my physics teacher, because as we're overflowing with work. No, I'm just joking. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's nice. But well, I had this grade school friend who I really drifted from. We went to the same high school. We ended up going to the same high school, but she I heard things that she said about me, saying, the average girl drama, but
I know all too well.
but
I've lived it.
yeah, but yeah, that's probably one.
Would you care to name drop? Make this a lot more interesting.
I would prefer not to for personal reasons. And it's not ethical, I believe, and especially since I made amends to this person. You know what? I'm a very religious person. I'm big on my faith, and I forgive her for what she's done to me, and I hope that maybe she forgives me if she thinks that I did something to her, which I didn't. But so yeah, I would prefer not to because I made amends to that situation and it's done. I don't know.
Good for you. Eventually we'll get somebody to spill some sort of beans. Maya, thank you so much for joining us this evening. If you made it to the end of this video, remember to please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, as well as give us a big old thumbs up. And also check out our other videos here as well. Please, I'm not allowed to get up until you do.